Amnesty International's joined a growing number of voices expressing concern about the welfare of a group of Indonesian men apparently imprisoned for raising a flag. The 14 prisoners are ethnic Melanesians from Indonesia's Papua provinces. Their supporters say they were rounded up by police after displaying the Morning Star flag during a peaceful protest. Amnesty says they were exercising their rights under Indonesian law. Jeff Waters reports.
Brothers and sisters of West Papua and Maluku delegation.
The Melanesian majority of Indonesia's Papua, West Papua and Maluku provinces has plenty of supporters. This delegation, sponsored by international backers, flew to Vanuatu late last year to ask for help in their long and ongoing quest to gain independence from Indonesia. Among the group was this young man, Jack Wineguy. It would be his last trip abroad for some time. Jack Wineguy is now in prison.
I'm worried because many political activists, when they are arrested by police and living in jail, and their family maybe terror and intimidate by police, and then they don't have a good life like other people.
Jack Wineguy's cousin, Herman Wineguy, knows quite a lot about Indonesian prisons. He spent time in them himself. Herman Wineguy was the man who led a group of more than 40 refugees from Indonesia to safety in Australia 2 years ago. Australia's decision to grant the group political asylum started a long diplomatic row with Jakarta. The first thing they did when they arrived on the mainland was to fly their Morning Star flag, a symbol of their aspiration for independence. It was a similar act back in Indonesia, which apparently saw Jack Wineguy arrested. Both Wineguys share an independence-seeking uncle who died in custody in a Jakarta jail.
I worry because my uncle, Dr. Tom, died in prison. That's why now I'm really worried about my cousin. I don't want he's die when he's living in jail. That's why I'm really worried about that.
Papuan activists say Jack Wineguy participated in one of a number of demonstrations which have happened in at least 6 centres in the Papua provinces over the past couple of months. They say the protests have been peaceful. Still photographs which have emerged from the provinces recently may illustrate some tense moments, but there's no evidence of any violence. This shot shows Jack Wineguy in a red cap at the centre of a protest in Manokwari on the 3rd of March. After this image was taken, a Morning Star flag was raised. Jack Wineguy was arrested. This is him now. He's in prison on charges which the spokesman for the Indonesian embassy in Canberra says are extremely serious. Dino Kusnadi says he can't be too specific about the case because it's still under police investigation.
It's improper for me to elaborate on each individual cases as you asked me. But in general, I can say that that these people that's been detained, they have been charged, or they may have been charged with rebellion and subversive criminal acts.
Mr. Kusnadi says it would be unethical for him to speculate on whether the protests were peaceful or not, but he says there's much to consider.
It's still a bit obscure when we hear the word peaceful again. Of course, peaceful is just one of the requirements there. There's also about the content and also the psychological effects or damages that they've done. Two, again, there's also other factors that surrounds these cases.
Indonesia government always use a military wing to stop the indigenous people not to express their own opinion, even only have peaceful protests or raising Morning Star flag, like what Jack Wineguy, my cousin, and other student activists doing now in West Papua.
Jack was involved in a series of rolling peaceful actions, exercising their rights guaranteed under the Indonesian law, and especially under the free speech provisions of special autonomy. He was acting at all times in a peaceful capacity, and he has been acting at all times in a peaceful capacity while in prison.
Nick Chesterfield is a long-time activist and Australian supporter of Melanesian independence in Indonesia. His accusations are alarming.
Specifically in Manokwari, we've got very clear reports that each night Jack and his friends are being taken out and interrogated and very badly treated. They're being kept in damp cells, they're not being given enough food, they're not being given enough water, and they're also having violent, drunk criminals put in with them to attack them each night.
We appreciate when we have reports like this, we could report back to the proper authorities on whether that it is true or not. That's one thing. The second thing is, of course, we have to acknowledge that there are limitations within the Indonesian police on the availability of jail cells. It's not just a matter in Papua, but it's also everywhere in Indonesia.
13 other people have also been imprisoned for taking part in the protests. The case has attracted the attention of Amnesty International, which says it's researching the case.
In those circumstances, Amnesty International would be calling for the release of any person who's imprisoned for peacefully expressing their political views, and we would regard those people as prisoner of conscience. This is similar to a number of other cases that we have supported in the past. Indonesia has obligations to respect the rights of the citizens of Indonesia, and a core right under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Right, which Indonesia has signed, is the right to freedom of expression, provided this is done peacefully. And the exercises such as raising a flag as a peaceful expression of a political view, Amnesty International doesn't support any political views necessarily on Papua one way or another. The political status there is a matter for the Indonesian people. What we say is that people have a right to express their political views and to do so peacefully, and they should not be imprisoned for doing so.
Given that this is a very serious criminal law of rebellion and subversion, that evidence is greatly needed for it to really be implemented. So again, given with the attention of what's going on in Papua, the commitment of the central government, I'm sure that the authorities there will present their case as sound as possible before they go into the courts.
Herman Weinguy is left to do what he can for his cousin from thousands of kilometres away in Australia. He says that he takes some comfort in the fact he's now employed by a charity to help look after the refugees he arrived with.
Yeah, I finished my report today.
So what are some of the things that we can help you with?
Look, that's not change. What happened in 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and today, what exactly happened with my cousin, Jack Weinguy, and other students, activists in Papua, that's like, it's no chance for us as a West Papuan people, as indigenous people, as a Melanesian living under, I think, control by Indonesia government. That's no chance. That's why many times I say I don't trust Indonesia government.
Jeff Waters reporting.